one sees the fact that the essential response to the conflict in the world is a revolution in consciousness in each individual. But does this mean that without that total action, all other lesser but perhaps helpful actions are useless? One sees the fact that the essential response to the conflict in the world is a revolution in consciousness in each individual. But does this mean that without the total action, all other lesser but perhaps helpful actions are useless? Now, one sees the fact that essential response to the conflict in the world is a revolution in consciousness in each individual. As we've explained very carefully, and I hope we can go into it again if one is not clear on this point, our consciousness with its content is the common ground of all humanity, right? Is this your consciousness, which is your education, your beliefs, your convictions, your values, your greed, your suffering, your pain, your anxiety, uncertainty, joy, pleasure, is common to all mankind, right? Is that so? Is it not so? Or are we uncertain about that? Go to India, go to Japan, go to Russia, Europe or here. Every human being goes through great sorrow. Every human being has conflict, pain, physical, psychological, is wounded. Every human being is uncertain, confused, violent, pleasure-seeking. That is the common consciousness of man, right? It's not your consciousness and my consciousness. This is very difficult to see and to see this fact, because we are all so trained, educated, and we take delight in an illusion calling my consciousness is different from everybody else. Right? Is this so or not? Well, you won't accept this, so right? So the revolution is the crisis, and its answer is a total revolution in consciousness, which is the ending of fear, right? The understanding of the whole nature of pleasure, which man is pursued endlessly, this sense of anxiety, uncertainty, desperate loneliness, sorrow, death. That is the content of our consciousness. That content makes our consciousness, right? can we go on from there? And is it possible to be free of its content? And, as we explained on many occasions, the philosophers, the psychologists, all those people say it's not possible. Human nature can never radically be transformed because mankind has lived for 5-10 million years, and look, he has not changed radically. So accept what is. You understand? Modify it, control it, educate it to be a little better behaved, and so on, so on. But remain within the limits of that. You following all this? So meditation is within the limits of that. Seeking God, truth, is within the limits of that. And somebody comes along, like the speaker, says, no, it is possible to radically transform that consciousness. Which means, first, one must realize that you are not separate from the rest of mankind. You are mankind. Therefore, you are not an individual. Right? See that you've already, that has already, if you see that it's already a revolution, right? No, you don't. It's already changed the pattern of thought altogether. Which means you are the world, and the world is you. That's just not a theory, not an ideal utopia, but it's an absolute fact. And therefore you become terribly responsible for everything that's happening in the world. But does this mean that without that total action, that total revolution, all other lesser and perhaps helpful actions are useless? Answer it for yourself. We never face the truth. We never face facts. We try to cover them up, run away from them. But when you realize that, you have, the next question is answered for itself.